Well, hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome to the OpenTTD live tutorial 2025! Well, I thought you guys might even join in then.
Yay!
I've got a few people hanging out in the Discord, there's some people hanging out in chat. I think we're live on Twitch, Steam, and YouTube. Or maybe not Steam, just Twitch and YouTube. That's fine, we can do that. How are we all doing? Oh, we got viewer plus subscribers coming in. Never seen your content before, but you're a yearly Jingle Jammer enjoyer. Glad to see you there, and glad to be here. Cheers. Well, thank you very much for coming by. We're going to get OpenTTD up and running. We're going to answer as many questions as we can. We're going to experiment and try and just have a go. I'm going to start a brand new world, and then I'll jump you guys over to it. I need to make sure that my settings are set back, though, because I've been messing around with OpenTTD a lot over the last few days. AI settings for an upcoming video on Saturday, the snow mod for all the snow things for the Jingle Jam, and of course the Boomtown or Bust script, which you can get from in-game. It's actually in the game, in the online content, so that's there for you guys to enjoy if you wanna play around with that. Here we go. We're in OpenTTD. How's that for a relatively quick switch around from one stream to another? And let's also show my camera. There we go, and the widget. Oh, I hope we don't get too many notifications on the widget. We'll have to see. Whew. Right then, how are we all doing? Did you guys enjoy the Jingle Jam? I certainly enjoyed it. Yeah.
I didn't expect the twist.
No, I did manage. There was only one person outside of the Ogscast who knew about the twist, or at least knew about some of it.
Is that why they was having connection issues?
No, at the beginning they were having connection issues. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, and I was wondering if that was you.
No, it was just them trying to get into OpenTTD, and for some reason the server was saying it was offline, even though it wasn't, and they just refreshed or restarted OpenTTD and it was fine. Just one of those little quirks of OpenTTD. I've just realised though that this sign behind me is incorrect. It's not 38,000 anymore. It's not 38,900. We have gone past 39,000. But I'm not going to waste time changing that right now, unless you guys force me to. Hey, but good evening, everybody. And Gerard, you're still here, aren't you? You did get a mention.
Yeah, I know. Smith thinks I'm a legend, which is a surprise, but fair enough.
You've certainly done a lot.
There are better people than me around. So.
Well, there's better people than me. There are people that will beat me at OpenTTD, but as far as I'm aware, they don't make a lot of core content online. Hello from Leeds. Hello Leeds. Hello Sheffield. Mexico as well. Hey Hellish, do you recommend any patch packs or certain versions for copy and paste features? I know CityMania Client that has that feature, but I find it really difficult to play. Oh, you're so used to the JGRP patch pack. Yeah, that's a tough one because there's a few different ways of doing it, right? Personally, I just play like standard OpenTTD. I don't play patch packs very much, but that's not going to be forever. I'm not going to change. We're not going to do that forever. This is a massive world. Why have I got such a big word? I'm going to
4K.
No, I think this is I think this is only a 1K, but yeah, it's a 1K world. Let's make a smaller world. 1K? Yeah. Well, most of the settings that I've got is stuff that I've been doing to get the Jingle Jam. So, for those of you who have been involved with testing the script, testing the scenario over the last week or so, thank you very much to everybody in the community that's popped in to do that. Also, Franderman, I believe it's your cake day, so happy birthday to you. Are we not gone past midnight? No, we haven't gone past midnight. A bit of a late night stream. Yeah, well, I had a prior engagement that I had to deal with, so I hope you don't mind. Actually, look here, look at this. We've got two cities here, and they are a little bit diagonal from each other. And you get a bonus when you do diagonal cities. So we've got Fringfingford, and we've got Little Pinhead. Now I'm not a big fan of airports, but in order to get started and not cheat money into the game, because there is the sandbox options. They do exist. You could use the sandbox
I like how
options.
they renamed them from cheats.
Yeah, I think they wanted people to feel better about using them when they're experimenting with the game and playing around and all that sort of thing. And I think it was a good call to change it to sandbox. Although I think like a nice option somewhere in the create game bit to say sandbox mode and it just like enables all of that stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, Hellish, when signaling on one-way track sections of tracks, should you only have one-way signals on both ends of the section of track, and then have normal block signals in between this to save performance? Right. No, I think I know what you're saying. So I'm going to start this aircraft and we'll have a look. So we'll get a bit of.
Before that, block signals and path signals don't have any real detrimental effect to performance.
So to kind of clarify, right? This here is a path signal. Okay, this is a one-way path signal, and these are block. No, that's also a path signal. Let me switch over to actual block signals. There we go. One-way block signals, two-way block signals. It doesn't matter. There was either, and we don't know which one it is, right? There was either a myth that path signals had a lot of CPU overhead and therefore slowed your game down, so use them as sparingly as possible, or it was kind of true in the very, very olden days, but these days with the modern machines and even phones that we have, it doesn't matter. It's so minuscule. I don't know which one that is, right? It's one or the other. It's either it's so tiny it doesn't matter, or it's a myth that's come from somewhere. And even the developers now, by default, have hidden all the other signals. You only see path signal and one-way path signal. And unless you're doing something like priority merge junctions, like complicated stuff like that, you don't need it. You don't need the other signals. Just use path signals. Had a feeling I'd catch you streaming after the Jingle Jam again. Yes, I do try and do it. If I'm available to do it, I do try. Oh, our aeroplane's coming back. Has he got anybody on board? Nope, because it's his first journey. Your dad taught you how to play. Played a lot of the original games. Yeah, the original games are a little bit different to OpenTTD. Transport Tycoon and Transport Tycoon Deluxe. Now, I do have a Let's Play on both of those, so if you want to see me go back and try and play the original games, there are playlists on my channel for you to check that out if you like. Should we get some trains going as well? Moderators, if you're hanging around here and you see any good questions in chat, do feel free to grab those questions and shout them out. Just checking the announcements. Oh, the Master Hellish went live announcement thing works now. Yes. I did break that in my last version of my updates. Okay, yes, let's get a railways line in. Should we do a goods network? Yes, let's do a little bit of a goods network. Goods are good. Yeah, look at the cargo payment rates here. If you ignore valuables because they come from banks and you only get one bank in some of the towns and the rates are terrible, the next thing that is brilliant is goods. It's even better than coal, right? And the good thing about that as well is steel is not far behind, and you can make goods from steel. So there we go. So I'm gonna make a steel network and explain it, and then if a moderator sees a good question, feel free to interrupt me. There we go. Right then, let's have a look at the industries on the world map. I'm zoomed in as far as I can. It can go that far out. And let's see. So we're looking for iron ore mines. There's 4 on the map. They're quite spread out. Okay, that's not too bad. And where are the steel mills? Oh, there's 4 of them on the map as well. Okay, this one looks like it could be quite good. Let's have a look. So there's a steel mill. It is on a hill. I don't like when the industries are on hills. It makes it more difficult to build around, but what we could potentially do is just get rid of that bit of hill, take out more loan. There we go. Let's just put a station in there to get started, and we'll go from an iron ore mine. There we go. My plane's going backwards and forwards. Is my plane making any money? Let's click on my plane, and if we go to the details here, oh yes, nearly 9,000 in profit last year. Very good.
Here's one question from chat. Oh,
you do it. This is difficult.
When building a road network such as an intercity transport routes, for extra throughput, should I try and stick to one speed for all vehicles, or just use more roads?
The thing is that unless you're using waypoints, which aren't even in the game yet, they're coming in version 15, you can't route your traffic very well. Like, the vehicles, especially if you've got loads of different roads, they'll just go wherever they want to go. This isn't Transport Fever. So, it's probably best just to stick to the one vehicle. Whether you choose the fastest or not depends on whether you're playing with breakdowns turned on. If you're playing with breakdowns turned on, and the reliability of the fastest vehicle is rubbish, then you probably don't want to use it. For example, at the moment, there is the UU diesel train, right? It goes 144 kilometers an hour. Look, here, this. Right? It goes 144 kilometers an hour. Now, that's good, but this steam train goes slightly slower, but its maximum reliability is so much more. It's 85% compared to 72. So my steam train, even though it goes a little bit slower, it's going to break down a lot less. Now, this isn't an extreme example, but it's an example. And I do need to remember to put some wagons on there. Iron ore hoppers. That's grain. There we go, iron ore.
Another question. Is a broken down airplane only slower or also more likely to crash during
That is an
landing?
excellent question, because those planes... Jack and Mac, can you boost yourself slightly? Thanks.
Sorry, I've been having audio problems today.
Yeah, no problem. People think it's more likely to crash. And there's two answers to this question. Effectively, the answer is no, right? It just makes it go slowly until it services, and then it will go quicker again when it's serviced. Whether a plane crashes or not is calculated and done separately. However, here's the complicated bit that you could ignore, is you ready? The calculation of whether a plane crashes or not happens as it's travelling down the runway on landing. So if the plane is moving slower, there is slightly more opportunity for calculations of that crashing to happen. Therefore, it technically could crash a little higher in percentage, but it is almost a negligible amount. So, the technically correct answer is yes, but actually in real life gameplay, the answer is no. You ignore that microscopic difference. And if you want to know more, there is a brilliant video by, I can't remember his YouTube handle. I know what I call him. David N... Somebody can...
David Newton?
Yeah, David. Is it David N. Newton? David N.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I need to make sure I get his handle right. But that is the person. Let me see if I can find it. David X Newton. That's it. That's his handle. David X Newton does some brilliant deep dives on OpenTTD, and that is one of the deep dives I think he's done. So if you want to really dig into how that code works, then I recommend checking out that. Yeah. Right, my train's loading. Any more questions?
Well, I noticed during today's stream, one of the planes said, run out of fuel. So it crashed because it ran out of fuel. So we were talking about this. Is the only reason that can happen because the airport's deleted?
As far as I'm aware, yes. Yes.
Right.
They don't just run out of fuel randomly. That's not something that aeroplanes do.
Even if you had like the longest journey possible, it wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe if there's a mod that has that feature included, that might be the case. However, as I said, no. In the default vanilla game, you have to get rid of the airports, let them fly around and around. You might be able to do it just by closing the airports rather than deleting the airports. I'm not 100% sure. But yes, if you close, delete the airports and let them fly around, then yeah. Okay, we're back into OpenTTD because I finished explaining and waving my hands around. Do we have another question?
Why does a station at a coal mine have a rating of 85%, even though there's always at least a train loading?
Yeah, that's another good one. So I don't know what the ratings and stuff are on this one right now. We can have a look. So this one's got a rating of 84%. So the rating of a station is made up of 5 different things. Okay, and the best way to look into that in detail is on the OpenTTD wiki, right? So it's definitely go and check that out if you want to know. But essentially, there are different criteria that make up that rating. It's not just whether cargo is being constantly taken off the platform. One of them is the maximum speed of the last vehicle that visited there. Another one is if you've got a statue of the company owner in the nearby town. So in this case, the station is Nunhill Mines, which means we go to the town of Nunhill. And if we had enough money, we could build a statue of the company owner. In fact, I can do, so I will do that. And you'll see the excellent rating of 84% there. That will jump up by about 10%. Obviously, fluctuations in the other things. So it's made up of a number of different factors, not just whether there's been a train there loading constantly. So you need to hit all of those marks. And again, the full information is on the wiki.
What's the criteria? That
New
makes
viewer
a
plus
city
subscriber.
hate
Fantastic. Okay, so we had a gift sub there from Fran the Man. Thank you very much for the viewer plus gift sub. And it went to Taser. So congratulations, Taser, on receiving that. I'm not 100% sure that they heard you, Giacomo, when that alert went off. But essentially, what makes a city hate you in its ratings, right? So if you go to the city, go to local authority, you can see that my rating is currently very good. Now, again, there's a very good page on the OpenTTD wiki that lists out all of the stuff. But there's a few things like if you delete a piece of road, your rating goes down a bit. If you delete a building, your rating goes down a bit. All of those sorts of things. Deleting farmland makes your rating go down more than grass, if I remember correctly. And there's a few things that make it go up. So it naturally goes up over time if you've got a service.
There's also those rocks.
Yeah, I'm not sure the rocks are identified differently in the local authority rating.
Because
I missed a bit of the question as well.
Okay.
They asked, not including construction and demolition, is there anything that can make them hate you?
An unsuccessful bribe.
Right.
Yeah, an unsuccessful bribe will reset your rating to a certain point. Red Slime says farmland is irrelevant for authority. Yeah, that might be correct. I'm just trying to remember. There's quite a substantial list, but there's not much. It's usually to do with like manipulating the land and buildings in the local authority area. Did I cover that one? I think that's everything for that question, right?
Yes, Taser, you can gift Viewer Plus now. It's a new feature.
It is a brand new feature. It is. It was only possible once I'd finished implementing the Hellish store. So until we had a store, it wasn't possible to do Viewer Plus gifting properly. And then we had a store, and I was like, oh, well, it's possible to do gifting now. So we've got that. And if anybody's new around here and they are Viewer Plus, what's that? Is it like channel membership or something? No. So over just quickly to explain the difference, we've got YouTube channel memberships, there's the Twitch subs, and Viewer Plus. It's a separate thing, kind of like Patreon. All right, okay. Have we got any more questions?
There was one. Do you know any scripts that work like the Simpleton City Builder, but without claiming cities?
I think there is. It's not one that I've tested and tried though. Although, kind of like a Simpleton City Builder script, but for all towns on the entire map sort of thing, is something that I've kind of got my eye on. It might be one of the scripts that I kind of look at doing next. I've just realised I've spent all my money doing this tutorial so far, so hopefully my company's actually going to make money, otherwise I might have to cheat it in just to show you guys some extra stuff. Yeah, I spent a lot on vehicles, but I can fast forward. Look, there we go. Did I answer that question? I think I did. Okay, I'm going to take the limit off fast forward and see how fast I can make this game run. Let's go down to frame rate. You can see the frame rate at the moment is hovering around 1. But if I fast forward, I've taken the limit off. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, I saw over 2,000. The game was running at 2,000 times speed for a very short moment in time. Did you guys see that on stream? I don't know if the frame rate was quick enough to catch up with that. What's my money like now after that? Oh, okay, we're making profit. Good. Any more questions?
So less landscaping, means less trouble with cities allowing you to build airports.
Yeah. Well, at any station, not necessarily just airports. It depends on your game settings as to whether you're allowed to build multiple airports at a city. And it's not a setting I normally change, so I don't remember off the top of my head. But if we search for air, let's have a look to see. I think it's in the local authority or something along those lines. Airports never expire. There we go. Limit airport placement based on noise level is off. So, if I remember correctly, if that's off, then it will let you do 2 airports, okay, unless the local authority attitude is also set to permissive, right? So it's just a game setting, and then really you can only do 2. So any station, yeah, if you can, get your station in without adjusting the land height, or do minimum land height adjustment, then adjust the land height for your rail line or for any more road after that. What's next? Do we got another?
One more question I saw from earlier. What's the best way to survive disasters, even though you usually turn them off? And I suppose as an extra, how can you survive the recession?
Ooh, right, okay. Well, there's not actually many ways to survive the disasters. They're random events. Keeping an eye on the UFOs that come in. The way that I do that is I open up a viewport. So if you click and hold on the map of the world, go down to extra viewport, then you can go and have a look at the UFO and keep your eye on it. Let's pretend this lake's a UFO. And if you pin that as well, you can just keep it on your screen. And then when the UFO does explode, you can repair your track very quickly without having a problem. And then everything will carry on working. It should be all okay. So that's kind of one way I help. And that's the most common sort of disaster. Apart from that, there's not much you can do. The recession is really just have a good company, because there's not much you can do, and just ride it out and then crack on afterwards.
Someone's asking here if they can play with us, and I was about to mention the viewer games you run sometimes.
Yes. Okay, so there are a few different sorts of games where you can come and play. On very rare occasions, we have community games where on the Discord we just get together and play for no apparent reason. Now, I don't very often have the time for that, so they're the rarest kind. We have an OpenTTD server on our Discord. Now, that's a public server for anybody in the community to come onto the Discord and play together. Sometimes I pop on there, often I'm working there, so I'm not able to do that. So that is a way that you can come and play with the community. If you specifically want to play in a game that I'm also playing in, there are 2 main ways. Either viewers' games or public games that happen in either a subathon stream or a charity stream. So I currently do 3 events a year. In the summer, I do a charity stream where there will be a public game of OpenTTD. You can come along and play. And in September, around my birthday, I do a partyathon. And I have got coming up on December the 13th, a Christmasathon. Let's run the small VT, shall we? Here we go. It's that time of year again. A chance to relax, unwind, and celebrate the season together. So join me for the festive partyathon. A cozy holiday stream full of games and giveaways and good times with the community. We'll begin with just 1 hour on the clock, but as the stream goes on, you can help extend it up to midnight. We'll be running a public game of OpenTTD. And also jumping into some community party games too, and enjoying this yearly tradition of coming together at the festive time. So tune in, jump into the games, and enjoy the festive fun stream. So there we go, folks. That is kind of the answer to the next question. To that question, the next opportunity is on December the 13th. And viewers' games, they're just kind of like the public games, except you have to register beforehand and then you get to play. And they happen randomly throughout the year. You just have to watch out on social media and my announcements and stuff. And the Discord, that's a good place to find out. And they're just announced, they happen, and then another one happens at some point. Okay? Any more questions? Apparently I'm very organised. I give that impression sometimes, but I just happen to have the right thing, the right button at the right time. Then.
People are congratulating you on the prank in the Jingle Jam.
Yeah, that
was
was
a good prank.
that was a good prank, and so nice of the Yogscast team to kind of be so on board with just having a bit of fun like that, and it was really nice because I initially approached them to say, hey, you know what, I've got a script that could be fun and I can make you a scenario, because we've done things a little bit like that for them before, and
Duncan
then
route right now.
sorry.
Is this a Duncan route right now?
What do you mean? Sorry.
What
Oh,
you're
the one I'm
making.
building now. Nah, I'm just trying to get this steel mill running, to be honest. And yeah, and the conversation kind of went from there, and I thought it'd be fun, and I hope you all enjoyed it. There we go. Right, we've got a whole bunch of iron ore trains going into the steel mill, and the steel is making goods, but I'm not taking the goods anywhere yet, which is kind of a crime. So I'll do that whilst if somebody's available to give me another question. If there's not questions, that's cool. I can just tell you stuff, and we can
Not
have a look
many
at things.
questions.
Oh, I've run out of money.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it
A
is
few people
good.
are talking about the system requirements.
Yeah, that is difficult. That's a very hard question because they're so tiny. It's quite hard to quantify them. Like you can,
Depends on what size of map as well, because the bigger map will take more processing power.
yeah,
Aren't
and
the
you get, like,
minimum
1,000
requirements lower than the minimum requirements for Windows 11?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got an operating system, then the game can run. Is basically the answer. If I remember correctly, it's either on Steam or somewhere else. It just says processor. Yes, which I think just says pretty much all of it, right? But yeah, it's really lightweight. Like you say, you can, if you're hosting a game or if you've got a big map with, I'm talking thousands of vehicles on. We've had games where there was something in the region of, I want to estimate around 50,000 vehicles running on the map, and it actually runs okay-ish. I can't remember. I did a video where I put 500 AIs on one map. I can't remember if we counted the vehicles in that video, but the game does start slowing down. So it does depend on how many, I mean, that was ridiculous low, 500 AIs. You're gonna break the game at that point.
Usually it's limited to 15.
Yeah, the only time that we've had a problem is when I did that 24-hour stream that one time, and we just played the same game for so long as a community, it just ground to a halt.
If there's a lot of vehicles, or there's a lot of water, or there's a lot of tree growth, it can slow down the game.
You're mostly correct. Vehicles seem to be a thing, and water. The more water on a map, the slower it seems to run. Trees is a little bit different because it may impact the running of the game a little bit, but not much. It's like negligible, I think. The big thing is that if you add trees to a map, the size of the map file like nearly 10 times. Like if you have a map without trees on, it's a tiny file. If you put trees on it, then the file size just skyrockets. And I don't know why, but it does. Oh, we've got to load more diesels and stuff out.
It can be a problem if you're doing like a synchronized multiplayer game and someone's trying to connect and the map file is too big for them to download within time before they get disconnected.
Yeah. So it's one of the reasons why sometimes we have maps with no trees on. I mean, at the moment, I've got trees on my map. I've just got them hidden completely using the transparency options, Control X to bring up the window. But we sometimes just spawn maps with no trees, and there's a setting to stop them from spreading and stuff.
Some industries need trees. Or, well, one, which is the desert wood cutter.
Yeah, so there's 4 different climates in OpenTTD. One of them's the subtropical climate. And in there is an industry that requires trees around it. And usually the trees are around it when it's there, but it does slowly cut them away. And I think the kind of production rate does actually drop. It's a very unique sort of industry compared to the other industries in OpenTTD. Ran out of money again. Yeah. You are less likely to be able to watch YouTube than play OpenTTD. Probably. on a relatively small map. You saw that this game, when I fast forwarded, then went at over 2,000 times speed. I have had one of these games. I set up a map that was specifically designed to be as like friendly to the game as possible, and I managed to get it to 16,000 times speed. That's the fastest I've ever ran OpenTTD. And yeah, that was the 16,000 is really fast. And I've had games where on fast forward the game runs at like a quarter time speed because it can't keep up.
Some questions here. Real newbie question: when creating tracks, what's the shortcut or key you hold to just drag any direction without them having to go up and selecting the track direction tile at the top?
Okay, so that is the letter A. The letter A brings up the auto tool. If you want to switch between the directions, they're the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you Brandon learnt something then. If you are pretty new, probably the easiest thing is to learn and you haven't learned anything. I would say try 1, 2, 3, 4, because if you can get good at those shortcut keys and quick, it's actually quicker than the auto tool. However, if you're used to using the auto tool, just press A. Now, I have a special one, Shift A, and that does the auto road tool. But I've manually set that by going into the hotkeys folder and adding that shortcut. It's an option to add, it's just not assigned to anything. Shift A for me brings up road, A brings up track. And then from there, if you want signals, for example, it's AS to bring up signals. If you want to remove a signal on your railway line, ASR to go to remove mode. So some of these kind of combos can quickly get you to signal remove mode without having to go up to the top. So AT gets you into tunnels. If the railway construction screen's not up, you can get to tunnels pretty quickly. Yeah, kind of like, well, there's lots of other games where that sort of thing comes into effect. But if you learn like those combos, it can be pretty effective is the word I was looking for there.
When replacing locos, there's a setting that removes a wagon if the train gets longer due to it. Is there a similar setting if you're replacing wagons, removing a wagon that makes the train longer?
Removing a wagon that makes the train longer. Do I understand? I don't think I understand the question correctly.
Upgrading a wagon, I guess.
Upgrading wagons. Upgrading wagons. The wagons are the same size in the base game. So if you're seeing wagons of different length, you're using a mod. And in which case, I don't think the upgrade features have the ability to do anything about that. So if we go to manage list on the... Right, okay, let's start a bit. Back up a little bit. I'll try that again. So if we go up to the top here and go to the train list, you can go down to manage and replace vehicles. This brings up the replace vehicles screen, right? And you can drop down here from engines to wagons and replace wagon for wagon. So it's like for like. Now the wagon removal, it says it makes auto replace keep the length of a train the same by removing wagons starting at the front, right? So it depends whether you're in wagon removal mode or not. So you can see that tooltip there, if I can zoom into it a little bit maybe. It says it keeps the length of a train. Now, I don't know how well that works with mods. So that's something you might have to play around with. But that's the place where you would play around with that to find out. My company's actually making money. That's not too bad.
Another question. What map size would you recommend for just an average game?
Yeah, well, what's an average game in OpenTTD, eh? It depends on whether you're using new GRFs for vehicles and for industries, because if you've got a big industry set like FURS, maybe you got it set to Steel Town or something like that, you're going to want more industries, so you're going to need more room for them. It also depends how long you want to play the game. Like, are you just going to sit down for like 3 hours and play? Which 3 hours is... bear with me a second. Let me do some maths for the base game. 3 hours times by 60 minutes divided by the special magic number is 15 in-game years. So if you're playing for... You're only going to be building for 15 in-game years. Your map's going to be smaller than if you play the entire game. Which... I think it's... I want to say 20 hours of gameplay is the kind of default start time to default, here's your score. But again, you can keep playing past that. If you've got the vacuum tube mob on, or if you've got the hover vehicles on, you can carry on playing. And you want a bigger map, obviously. Also, the number of people. Like, if you're playing by yourself, it's different than if you're playing in a group. So for me, sat here now, this half K by half K map is fine for a couple of hours. But if I was playing longer term, for the entire game, I'd probably go 1K by 1K for one person. And if you want to play for like a group of 5 people, maybe 1K by 2K or 2K by 2K. It depends on a lot of variables. Very difficult. And I obviously can't speak to every single variable, but there's a bit of guidance. Hopefully that helps. Go on, Brandon. We got another one.
Have we?
I said, have we got another one?
No.
Yes, we have. Somebody asked what the special magic number was.
For what?
Well, I
know
just
what
did a
special magic
calculation.
number is.
It's 12. It's 12. So in the base game, unless you change any settings, each year is 12 minutes long, right? So I worked out how many years by saying, if you're playing 3 hours, times it by 60, divide it by 12. That's your answer.
Usually games go to 2050.
Yes, the
From
end of
wherever you start.
2050.
You could say 2051, but that's confusing.
Yeah, it's January the 1st, 2051. So the end of 2050. Depends which way you look
play
at it.
after that. And as long as you turn off vehicles never expire, or turn on vehicles never expire, rather, you won't lose out on trains eventually.
Yeah, so there's a setting that Brandon very, very keenly pointed out. It says vehicles never expire, which is very handy if you haven't got any mods for vehicles in the future, but you want to play into the future. However, an important thing to remember with this game setting is that if you turn this game setting mid-game, so right now, if I went, actually, I don't want my vehicles to expire, it won't work for the existing stuff that's in the game. They'll still expire and stuff. There's a command you have to run to kind of reset those vehicles so that it works for your mid-game. I'll see if I can just find that command. I think it is just reset vehicles, actually. It's a console command.
Reset engines.
Have you found it?
No, I think that's what it was.
Okay, well, we're not going to guess. I'm going to have a look. Reset. You're probably right, but I'm just going to double check. Yes, there we go. So, reset engines, all one word, lowercase, it resets all the use age of the available engines. So after you've ticked this option and turned it on, you need to do that command by hitting the correct key depending on your operating system, and it is reset engines. No underscore, Red Slime. I believe you're remembering incorrectly, or the wiki's wrong. I think there's no underscore.
What is the mod that adds horse and carriages to the early years?
Oh.
I thought it was Iron Horse, to be honest.
No, it's not. We did use it in a game. Can I go into my GRF settings? I can. Can I go? Yeah, here we go. So I've got a preset for new GRFs. And one of them is a 1960 start. And we used this... I think we used it in this year's charity game. So it is... horse and cart road vehicles set. That's the one that I've used. There may be others. They may be better. They may be worse. But that's the one that I used for my particular charity event. It worked. We did 3 events. We did 3 games of OpenTTD in that event. One in the 1860, one in the normal game start, and one in the future. And that's what this set is. We used these particular mods. And if you're interested in what the future mods were, we used hover vehicles, vac train, and aviators. There's some recommendations. You can place underscores anywhere in a command. Oh, that is so cool. So presumably the code removes underscores and then runs like the algorithm to work out which one it is or something. Oh, I'd be interested to see that. Yeah. Okay. How are we doing? Have I actually delivered any goods yet? Let's see. Nope, I'm not going to see there.
EGRVTS also adds some horse and carts.
Yeah, there are a few options. Oh, I've made some money on goods.
I've been trying to create my own road vehicle, but it's very confusing.
Yes.
I need a Hellish mod dev to go through it for me.
Yes, there's I haven't touched the new GIFs yet. I've only been doing scripts. Yeah. I've only been doing scripts. Obviously, Boomtown or Bust is the one that a lot of you will know now. The one that was used in one of my videos and now in the Jingle Jam for the Yogscast. And there's another one that we're going to use, I think, for the next viewers game, which is the Cargo Tracker one, which actually was actually made before Boomtown or Bust. So I don't know why it's that way around. None of the steel's been transported. Oh no. Okay, I feel like I need a steel train waiting whilst the other steel train's doing its job. So I'm going to move the depot. And I'm going to put another platform in. And then I will just put a single path signal here, facing that way. Not a one-way path signal, just a normal one. And I will clone the existing train by holding control. When I hold control, gives it shared orders. So if I change the order of one train, it changes the order of all of them. If you're playing OpenTTD and you're not using shared orders, sort your life out.
Yeah. Is there an easy way to make a whole list of trains into shared orders?
So you've got a load of trains that aren't shared, but you want them to be shared.
Yes.
No. The only real way I think... let's just unshare these trains and give it a try. So if I click on the shared orders and do the stop sharing button comes up. So let's say that we've not got this shared. I think if we do go to hold control and click on the other train, it then adds it to the shared orders group. It ignores whatever orders it had. So you just have to go through each vehicle that isn't on the shared orders, do go to and click on one of the trains that is in the shared orders whilst holding control, and it will add it to the shared orders list. So it's somewhat okay. Sorry, I'm new here. I like open source projects, but do we really need a tutorial once we've thoroughly examined the source code? I mean, if you can look at the source code and parse it and actually process that in your head in real time, well done. It's something that I can't do. The thing is that this game is based off a game where the tutorial came in the box with a disc in the form of a book. So there wasn't really anything in the game that kind of helped you out with that, right? I believe somebody has made a tutorial scenario or something like that, and there are now links in the main menu and stuff to point into a few bits and places. But all of this and the videos that I do have come out mostly out of the necessity of there being nothing in the game, because the game came with a book. And I've got one.
Book online? Or is that what the manual is on the wiki?
I can't remember what they've got on the wiki, but I've got my box here. And if I open my box carefully, I've got the Transport Tycoon manual. And it is a black and white manual. And you might think, oh, well, that's quite thick. There must be quite a few different languages in there. No. This is the entire English manual. All of these pages. Every bit of it is... This is how you play a Transport Tycoon, the game that OpenTTD is based off. And it gives you the required equipment in here. Shall we have a quick look at this, shall we? Required equipment. Computer. Transport Tycoon requires an IBM PC or a computer that is 100% compatible with this model. The computer must have a high-density floppy disk drive and a hard disk. Because originally it came on floppy disk. Transport Tycoon requires a 25 megahertz or higher processor. And, get this folks, at least 4 megabytes of RAM. Now obviously that's Transport Tycoon, not Transport Tycoon Deluxe or OpenTTD that it was based off, but yes. Oh, the operating system? Does it say operating system? I think it does. Controls, display... Oh, DOS, yeah. You must have Microsoft DOS version 5 or higher. 5.0 or higher. So there you go. Fantastic, eh? Oh, I think I've deserved a matchmaker. What do you guys think? I think I do. Here we are.
Oh, what?
Matchmaker. You don't know what a matchmaker is?
No.
It's a little tiny chocolate mint stick of glory.
A mint stick? Or like a bounty?
What? Bounty's
Oh, no,
coconut.
those thing. Yeah, okay. I know
Mint.
what those are.
Yeah. Could you make a transport mods that adds everything, please?
What, like, furs extreme?
I think they're thinking of vehicles rather than anything else. Maybe.
The basic climate has all the vehicles, mostly.
Profits are going up. See, if you wanted to kind of take the base game and just give it more options and elevate it, Furs using Steeltown, and then that's version 4. Version 5 came out recently, and we need to have a proper look at that.
I mean, just furs.
And then for aircraft, Aviate, for ships, Shark, for trains, Iron Horse, and for... What's the one I've missed?
Road vehicles.
Rogue vehicles.
I don't think there's any.
ETR
Add trams.
Yes.
Add trams.
Yeah.
Add trams and then ignore road vehicles entirely.
Yeah.
I can put it in chat. Which one?
Yeah. These iron ore mines aren't really kicking out a lot of iron ore. That one's only at 60... I'll say it correctly now. 96 tons. But what we can do is we can like get this factory to make more stuff by giving it grain and livestock. So should we do some roads?
I think fish, shark, whatever it is now, does do most eras. I don't think it has future boats.
It certainly expands most of the gameplay, right?
Could add like the sailboats.
Yeah.
Sailing ships.
I mean, furs. They're not furs. Shark has like good steam paddlers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does. Right, I've just noticed that my goods train has gone and there's no more goods loading, so second platform. One of the best things you can do in OpenTTD is just send goods diagonally across the map as pretty much as far as possible and as much as possible.
I
forgot.
like the look of diagonal routes.
Yeah, they're so difficult when it comes to going up and down hills and for depots. But if you
Yeah,
play
it's
with
worth it.
breakdowns turned off, it's not too bad. But you get that roughly 34% boost from going diagonally because of the way that the game measures distance. So we've talked about this a few times, but let's just like show people that may not be familiar with a little diagram on the screen quickly. So we've got two towns here, and if we go along the grid lines, you follow the grid lines. Let's say we had a road that comes down here, and then we have a road that comes down here and gets connected up. And we were going between these two towns. So we go from a station over here to a station over here, right? So what happens then is the game measures the distance between those two stations along the grid lines. Manhattan distance, right? So you're going along the blue line to measure the distance. But if you have a train route that goes kind of not along the line, it goes kind of diagonally across, right? Then your train is cutting this corner. Okay, it's cutting the corner, it's taking a shorter path to get there. And because the amount of profit you get is a calculation based on your distance and your time, then it goes, oh, hang on a minute here. You went very quickly, didn't you, for that distance? It thinks, oh, well, you know, you travelled quite far there. Well, actually, you travelled shorter. And because you travelled a shorter distance than what the game thinks, you end up with bonus money. And it's around a third. I can't remember the exact calculation. And to be honest, I don't want to have to work it out, the exact calculation. But basically, because the game measures it along the grid lines, and with planes and ships and trains, you can go diagonally. That's how you can get your bonus. Now, you can't do that very well with road vehicles. Obviously, with road vehicles, you could make a road that zigzags like this. but that's bad for two reasons. One, it actually works out the same distance as going the Manhattan distance because you're traveling along each square and then across again. And two, when you go around a corner in a road vehicle, the road vehicle slows down. So actually doing zigzag roads like this, very, very bad. Don't do it. It may look weird, but you want to be able to go all the way along, round one corner, and then all the way the other way with roads.
So with roads, it's better to just go straight rather than diagonals.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do diagonals with roads. It's best to just go out all the way, one corner, and then all the way the other way. Yeah. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, I was trying to get more... Have I only got one truck doing grain backwards and forwards here? Oh, no, the rest are in the depot. Okay, well, let's get the livestock vans. Sometimes people, when they watch my videos or live streams, they forget. I'm not just playing OpenTTD here. I'm explaining, I'm reading chat, which, as somebody who's dyslexic, takes a little bit of extra brain power. And I make mistakes. And then again, I'm just human. Everybody makes mistakes, eh? What else we got? The first person to make a GRF that draws diagonally will be my best friend. Draws road diagonally. You can do that in locomotion, can't you?
I think it's possible for a TRF to do that.
I don't think it's possible for a GRF. You don't think that, do you, Egg?
No.
No. I know that it's got diagonal... Oh, I really want to see... I want to try it now. It's just I know that when I run locomotion, it messes up my screen resolution and half the stuff jumps off the side of my monitor and I can't see what I'm streaming and things. It's an absolute nightmare. But, oh well, never mind. Apparently, Red Slime says, there was multiple attempts to draw diagonal roads, but it's pointless without the support from the game. Yes. I think you'd have to do some pretty significant modding to the game to then be able to do it. Tookshake says, I should learn to shut up. I'm too old for that. No, that's the whole point in the stream. Shout out, learn, enjoy. The only way I've learnt what I know now and I'm able to answer most of these questions is through playing the game and looking at what other people are doing and playing it for the last 22 years or whatever it is. Need to get Open Loco. Yes. I did a video about locomotion and I wanted to do that separately. I'm going to do a video about Open Loco. I just need to decide the angle that I'm coming from. And I think the angle I'm going to take with the Open Loco video is, okay, so locomotion is good in many ways. How is Open Loco better? What do you mean by shared orders, says Twitch chat. So, if you have a look at these trains coming from this particular station, if you look at the orders list at the bottom, it says end of shared orders, right? And this train says the same. Now, if you don't do shared orders, it won't say that. And what that means is that if I decide to change these orders, these trains for any reason, let's just say, for example, I mean, you wouldn't do this, but for example, I wanted them to go through this waypoint on the way there and back, right? So I pop the waypoint down, I go to the orders and I say, okay, go to the waypoint on your way back that way, and then go to the waypoint on your way that way. So you go into the waypoint twice. So I've told this train to go to the waypoint. Now, because they've got shared orders, if I go to the other train in the shared orders, their orders have changed as well. Okay? That's the whole point of shared orders. You can just have one group of trains. Now, there's an extra benefit that when you're looking at train lists, so either from the station or the main train list screen, you can group by shared orders. That's a relatively new feature in the grand scheme of OpenTTD. And you can see here that we've got some trains that are just one train in the group of shared orders, but we've got some groups where there's two trains in those groups of shared orders. So there's two there, there's two there, and there's two there. And it groups and actually amalgamates their profit within the groups of shared orders. So you can see what groups doing better and things like that. So shared orders, yeah, look into it, learn it. It is very useful, very nice. Any more questions?
You can do this in grouping.
Grouping, in my opinion, is a feature that's only useful for two things. Okay, so you can create a group. Hi there, subscribe. Oh, I think I mistyped that. Doesn't matter anyway. Oh, maybe I did it right. So you can create a group, and you can drag trains into the group, right? The only reason there's only two reasons. Firstly, you can change the color of the vehicles in that group, and they can be different to all the other ones, right? So this one iron train is a completely different color to all the other trains, right? So if you want to color your vehicles, that's one reason. The second and only other reason I can ever think of is you can manage that list separately. So if you wanted to, you could send every train in that group for service or to the depot, or you can replace vehicles. So I can go in and go, hey, all the trains in this group, change them to a new diesel. Well, actually, that's a good thing to do. It's got 91% reliability and runs faster, right? So you can actually say what groups of trains you want to change in, which most people don't need, but they're the two reasons.
I've had issues in the past, a long time ago, where I replaced all my planes with a newer plane, but the newer plane didn't actually carry, like, cargo of some type.
Yeah, the only time I used it was I had the Heritage Railway, and I wanted to replace all the vehicles on the map except the Heritage Railway. So I put the Heritage Railway in a group, then I went to the ungrouped trains and did a replace on that. So essentially, I pulled one train out of the group of all trains and then did a replace. So I have used it. It's just, for most things, just clicking on the station and seeing the trains and managing them from there, like send all those trains to depot. You can do create group from a station. That's handy if you want to create a group that way. But personally, I'm not a groups person. People play the game in different ways, and it might work for you, but it doesn't for me.
Question here. Can you show and explain how to set up priority lanes for trains and what signals to use?
No. That's a simple answer, I'm afraid, in that it's not something I've played around with before, and it's not something that I tend to do in my gameplay. Now, the main reason for this is that I do kind of beginner and intermediate tutorials mostly, right? So most of my gameplay and my events are all focused around bringing people into the game and learning more and growing in the game, okay? And the other reason, because there's two main reasons, so that's one of them. The other one is that Lugnuts has already done a good video on that. And at the moment, I don't think I'd have much to add to that conversation. So I asked Lugnuts, I said, hey, would you be alright if I put your video at the end of my tutorial playlist? And I spoke to them and they said, yes, that's fine, that's good, that's no problem, thank you. So if you go to my tutorial playlist on my YouTube channel, it goes through all the kind of beginner and intermediate stuff, and then at the end of the playlist there's a few of Lugnuts videos explaining those things. So I recommend that video if you want to know that.
Where was the question going? There was another one.
Yeah.
Hi, why in my game is only one train loading at a time?
That's the way your game works. Yep.
I've seen trains load.
Right, yeah, so as a general rule, and there's an example here. Oh, like the other train's not there. Well, okay, if there was another train here, only one of the trains would be loading, right? And that's because the train is onboarding the cargo quick enough from the industry, right? But if for some reason there was so much cargo coming into this station that one train couldn't onboard it quick enough, because there is a loading speed, it would actually go onto another train, right? So if your station is busy enough, it will do. You don't really want all of your trains loading at the same time. Imagine like if you had 5 trains and they were all loading at the same rate, and then all of a sudden all 5 trains left and you've got an empty station for ages. You don't want that. What you want is one train load, the next train load, the next train load. And if your station is busy enough, the next train will actually start filling up. It allocates cargo, I think. So you can actually go to the station, and I think you can do the drop down here. Yeah, it's here. Look, you can see that there is cargo that you can show, and you can show the waiting amount or the planned amount. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but that's essentially it. Okay. Do we have any more, Brandon?
Someone's asking how long it takes for Viewer Plus to go through.
What Viewer Plus?
Someone got on Viewer Plus membership, I think.
I thought it was immediate.
Should be immediate.
Yeah, well, I say immediate. It can take up to like 15 seconds for the notification to pop up. But essentially, yeah. Unless PayPal hasn't done their thing on their side where it acknowledges the thing has gone through or something like that.
Yeah, for me it always takes a few minutes.
I was gonna say, have you
Maybe if you pay in a different currency.
have you activated your account? Because that goes to the spam folder sometimes. That's
Yeah.
why that would prevent it though.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
I don't think we've ever had problems with it just like not working.
So it
Even
might take a few minutes.
it might do.
For me, it does usually.
Yeah, it might be a currency conversion thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just checking a few things now, and let's see who was it, or what is it? My account is set up and paid. The account's been set up and paid out your account. So what are you expecting to see? Hey. You know what, I'm just going to have a quick look to see what I can find. There we go. Let's see. You are Clanners. Oh, no, I need to make sure I'm clicking in the right screen. I will see if I can find your account and just have a look. But essentially, it's usually fine. And if you have any problems, what's the best way to sort your problems out? Egg?
Put it in the help on Discord.
Yeah, if you can, log a ticket in the help forum on the Discord. No, not do a backflip. I wouldn't recommend doing a backflip. You're not going to get any progress with your help. Of course, if you don't have Discord or can't use Discord, then do contact pretty much any other sensible way. But no, I don't actually see a name that a user account that matches your YouTube username. So maybe it's a different username. Log a ticket. We'll look into it. Double check things. Usually it's fine. Doing a couple. I'm just going to do a simple passenger route. Most of the things I'm doing right now are quite simple and straightforward. You wouldn't be able to get very high throughput through them. But again, I'm kind of just concentrating on relatively
Here's a
simple,
good
straightforward.
question.
Oh, go on then. Here we go.
At a farm, is it with do trains that do both livestock and grain, or dedicated livestock and grain trains?
Oh yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, so there's
I like dedicated.
yeah, it's difficult, right? Because there's the easy way of doing it, and that is you kind of we got a farm. There we go. You look at the farm and you kind of go, oh, look at that. That one's got 104 tons of grain and 80 items of livestock. So you're looking at like a 10 to 8 ratio. So what you could do is create a train with a 10 to 8 ratio of carriages and just send that in and just do that. That works, and it'll be all right. And it works okay to begin with, but both of those rates production can change, right? So you can end up with trains that aren't completely full and wasting it. I think as long as you're going full bore with that particular route, the best way is to build 2 separate platforms, 2 separate stations, one that picks up livestock, one that picks up grain. And the reason for that is if you have just one station put in next to that's a terrible station. Let me try and do a bit better one. There we go. One station where you've got a track coming in. Let's just say you're doing a row and a track coming out, right? And you've just got one station and you're sending your trains in. If for some reason we get 2 livestock trains sat here, they could end up taking a long time to load and fill up the station, and your grain trains can get stuck behind waiting to get in. And the easiest way of dealing with that is just don't mix your trains, don't mix your stations, just do 2 stations. One for grain, one for livestock. And the same sort of rule applies at a steel mill. So you wouldn't have one station to drop off the iron ore and pick up the steel. You have one station for drop off of iron ore and one station for the pickup of steel. Because if your station gets full of trains trying to pick up steel, iron ore trains can't get in. then you will never produce steel, your steel trains will never leave, and the iron ore trains will never get in. So it doesn't look great, but separate stations is really the way to go, or at least separate platforms. And it just completely avoids that problem. I think I answered that question.
Yeah. I personally like using the same station and then complaining when it eventually fills up with just grain trains.
Yep, that's exactly the issue that you can get. And there is a way around that. You can actually flow trains to certain platforms using waypoints. That can be a bit more complicated. If you're at the stage where you are confident using waypoints to send trains to certain places, you're probably at the point where you know what you're doing with the way that you're doing that. Unless you're doing it maybe for the first time. I don't know. Maybe. There we go. Oh, I'm going to end up with a little wiggle in my railway line. Never mind. Do we have another question?
Not like. Okay, can a train crash? Can a train crash into itself? I can answer that one. No.
There you go.
Actually, they'll phase through each other. It's quite interesting.
Let's do it.
You got enough money?
Yeah, money's fine now. Yeah, now my company was always fine. It was just a matter of like, it was a new company taking
Check
time
Twitch chat.
to build up. Yeah, yeah. There are all routes there in Twitch chat as well. But I'm not completely ignoring Twitch chat, but we can ignore them a little bit, right? So if I make a train as long as I can, I think it might go round on this.
Figure
Let's
of eight's
see.
a good way to just demonstrate it.
I don't know if I can actually get the back of the train on the loop here. I'm not sure if I've actually made this too long. Oh, there you go. It went back into the depot while the train was coming out. Oh god, I accidentally fast forwarded then. The train shot round at like 3,500 miles an hour. Can I remove that piece of track? Or is the train going to be in the way? The train's always going to be in the way. Okay, tell you what.
Make it longer, then make it shorter.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the train go for a bit more of a journey. And that, because we don't have 90-degree turns, it won't be able to get into the depot.
Or remove one of the tracks connecting it to the depot.
There we go. So we're going to see this train actually fold in on itself in a second. There we go. Go away, Darwin 200. By the way, just never accept them. The reliability is nearly always not worth. There you are, look. There's a train inside of itself.
And if you fail to actually use them in like a year or so, they will stop offering you it for a bit.
I've just realised it's now impossible for me to get this train off this line.
The train is stuck.
I've actually hard locked the train because I can't build where the train is.
No, you can reverse it, and then it'll go down that little.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could get it. I can get it off that little section. But without reversing it, it's stuck. Turn around, train. There you go. Hi, Step Out Sister. Welcome to the stream.
With split station. Oh.
Go on, Brian. It sounds more professional if you do it.
With the split stations, does it mean the trains are empty half the time?
Are we talking about the loading stuff?
I assume so.
Does it mean the trains are empty? I mean, it's nothing. I don't think there's anything to do with split stations. I think the trains are either empty or they're not. Right? Same. They're just loading. I think.
Well, I'm thinking what they're thinking is that if you have two separate platforms, one might be full of both things. But you can avoid that by just simply never loading the other, never loading grain at a livestock station.
So if that is what you mean, then a station will only provide cargo for a service that is there. Okay. Now, Transport Tycoon, the original game that it's based off, didn't do that. It would throw the cargo onto the station platform whether there's a train there or not. Right. And there's a good example of this right in front. Oh, no, there isn't. That's a bad example. Because I've connected it to an airport. So if I click the station, there's going to be a load of passengers there. But If I put a station in here, you can see that it accepts passengers and mail, but if I click on the station, there's never going to be any passengers or mail there until I send a train that can handle passengers or handle mail. So if you have two different stations, one that you use to pick up livestock and one you use to pick up grain, those stations will only ever have livestock and grain waiting at the appropriate station, as long as you never get your trains mixed up. And even then, eventually, the stuff waiting on the platform will just degrade and disappear. Right. I think I'm going to have to replace my vehicles. The Floss 47 is the vehicle of choice right now. So I'm going to get this one up and running, and then we're going to change my vehicles around. There we go. We're putting a train service between the airports because trains are superior to the one airplane I have. Let's replace vehicles. So we're going to go to the train list. We're going to go to replace vehicles. We've got a few different train types, but I want them all to be the Floss 47 diesel because I 91% reliability and a speed of 180 kilometers per hour. Yes, I want that. There is nothing better right now. Oh, the SH30 electric can go the same speed, but is worse in reliability. So why would you? Yeah, why would you? Oh, it's got more power.
Does power and tractive effort do anything in vanilla?
Yes, but I can't remember exactly how it calculates and stuff. So I just skip that. Like, just go for. I mean, if you're not playing with breakdowns turned on, it doesn't matter. But as a general rule, go for reliability and speed, because getting to your destination quickly is what gets you more profit. So I'm replacing all three of those vehicles into the 47 now. So you can see we've got three of them, two of them, two of them, and two of them, and those numbers at the top will go down, and that number at the bottom will go up. Yeah.
Have you ever played with the OpenTTD co-op people?
Nope. No, that's a style of gameplay which most people don't touch, get into, or hear about. And from what I understand now, they're not active. They have or had a website, and I think that's been down for a long time as well. You need to have acceleration set to realistic for the traction to matter, says Wobbly Boot. I think. Well, if we go into the settings and we set acceleration, it's double A, isn't it? Sorry, double C. Train acceleration model, right? Let's see what it says. So for realistic, it says select the physics model for the train acceleration. Normal model penalizes slopes equally for all vehicles. The realistic model penalizes slopes and curves depending on various properties of the consist, like length and tractive effort. Is that a typo? Properties of the consist.
No?
Consist is a real word.
Well, consist is a...
Have I just had a word blank?
Do we not know what this word is?
Oh, to be composed or made up of, consist.
Oh, well, that's what I thought.
Consist is like a train, right? All the carriages together.
Yeah, and all the engines together, right? So yeah, it depends whether you're set to reduced, realistic or the original, and it works for slopes and curves. It doesn't say acceleration, which is hang on. Select the physics model for the train's acceleration. Yeah, but what about the stop-start acceleration? It only talks about the accelerations for slopes and curves. Taking the text at face value, I would say it's not the stop-start acceleration. It's only acceleration due to slopes and curves. As long as the text in the settings are correct. Yeah. A train consists of engines and carriages. Usually. Yeah, well, I can have a train that's just an engine. We can have a train made entirely of engines. Oh, can we do...
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Consist is a set of railway vehicles forming a complete train.
We're
You know
learning
what?
stuff
I
today.
don't think I've ever heard that phrase being used before. How is it that I know about the word defenestration, but I don't know about
Oh,
consist?
Nah, defenestration's a fantastic word, though.
I don't think I've ever done this before.
2D
This
fenestration.
train made of engines.
Train solidly made of engines.
I did it with the metro in season 12.
Yeah, but those engines can take passengers. These ones can't.
Oh, question.
You could do the manly moral DMUs.
Yeah, you could do, but this is just engines, just
Does
for
a
sillies.
train go beyond its maximum advertised speed when going down a slope? And if so, what is its actual maximum speed?
I don't think so. Cool. That acceleration though of that train,
Oh,
it caught up with the other one very quickly.
That's when if you unlock maglev, it's always good to have 2 or so engines because the acceleration on maglev is tragic.
Should we do that? Should we build a big hill and find out?
And yeah, this thing will go full speed up a hill.
Although, if I'm going to do that, I might need to cheat money into the game. So, let's find a
Got
spot
500k,
that's.
it's loads.
Yeah, well...
If you do it in the middle of the water, and then it's going to be...
Also, there's quite a hill over here anyway, so let's just go up as high as we can. So your question was, will it accelerate faster if it's just coming out of depot and going flying down the hill?
No, just will a train accelerate faster than its maximum speed?
I don't think that's possible. But we're about to find out.
Can you send this train full speed up the hill?
So I'm going to send it down the hill full speed.
Oh, okay.
So in theory, will it reach its maximum speed whilst on the hill? And if so, will it then continue to go faster because it's on the hill is the question, I believe, right? And for this, we can use the Kirkby Pool because it doesn't matter what the speed is. We're looking just at the slope, right? So if I tell it to go to this waypoint and we follow it, you can see the speed when it's starting. So there it is. It goes to 64 kilometers an hour and it's plummeting down the hill. And then that's it. It just continues at 64. So the answer is no. It will not go beyond its maximum speed.
What if you have the train length be long... Oh, no, never mind. I'm watching it right now.
Yeah. Your reputation amongst those towns is cooked. Yeah, probably. Here we go. Let's see what these guys think. Oh, they think I'm medium? You know why I'm okay? Because I'm clever. If we click, well, no, it's an accident, but I'm going to claim I'm clever. If you go to the local authority of this town, you can click zone, and it shows you the area of effect for that local authority, right? This changes as the town grows, but you can see I've only just changed the edge of the local authority with the edge of the hill there. And if we look at Ninninghead as well, and look at the zone, again, I've only just changed a little bit of the edge of the area effect of that zone. So they think I'm medium because I haven't really done a massive amount in their area. So they're fine. One thing that I don't like is if you come away from those towns, that area of effect just stays there forever. There's no way to get rid of that apart from clicking back into the local authority of each one and turning off the zone for it.
It turns off when you get out of that menu, surely.
No, I thought that would be the case. Like, you turn the zone on, as long as you leave this window open, I would have thought it would stay there. But if you close the window, the zone just stays there. I'm pretty sure that's...
a bug.
I'm pretty sure it's intended. But it's not the expected behaviour that I would have expected it to have. Yeah. So, why is the zone important? Ah, well, let's have a look at the zone here. We can have a little talk about that. So, this each town gives your transport company a rating, and that rating affects a few things. Like, if your rating gets too low, you won't be able to build stations, right? So, that zone there is the area of where if stuff happens in that zone, it will affect the town authority rating. So if I raise the land here, you can see I immediately get a rating. Because my rating changed ever so slightly, right? Not enough to change it from very good. But if I keep raising up land, you see it goes down to good. If I grow trees in that zone, it will eventually go up, right? Only up to a certain point, right?
Why is
But
zone important?
Well, if I do it outside of that zone, it won't affect it. So if I could grow this land up over here, the local authority doesn't care. If I do it in the land of the local authority, they now think I'm appalling. And that is the reason that the zone is important.
Oh, interesting.
So if you want to, sometimes you can check the zone of a town to work out whether you are going to affect your rating. Have we got any more questions?
Legend has it the pyramids of Giza were an ancient experiment where somebody wanted to see the maximum speed of a different type of wheels going downhill.
Yeah, that's the only possible explanation. That man Zam says, Duncan said, we should watch this and learn. Yes. I mean, ideally what you want to do is you work your way through my tutorial series. The first one gets you started, all the basics, and then there's loads of good detail in the ones that follow after that.
Not spawn.
Yeah.
Does any building impact the rating?
Road, rail stations, yes, pretty much. It does.
Yeah, because you're removing trees.
Yeah, or building on land, I believe, is one. I mean, I'll go to the wiki and quickly just list it out, maybe. I can't remember its local authority rating, and I can't spell authority. But luckily, Google can understand my ramblings. The area of influence is what we just talked about, and the ratings mechanic is actually on the game mechanics page. The game mechanics page has all sorts of stuff, including the local authority rating and cargo delivered to stations and stuff. But things that make the rating go down is building a station, destroying a piece of road, destroying a bridge or a tunnel, destroying a building. And something that makes it goes up is planting a tree. Something that makes it go down again is deleting a tree. And a successful bribe will make it go up, and an unsuccessful bribe will make it go down. And there's some maximums and minimums and all that sort of stuff. So in theory, if you blow up a square that doesn't have a building, bridge, tunnel, road, or a tree on it, the local authority rating doesn't change. According to this page and the way it's worded. So let's have a look. Let's find a town that I haven't got a rating in yet. Right, so as soon as my rating changes, it will show. So if I delete nothing... Ooh, I think the wiki might be slightly... need to be reworded.
Maybe there was
unless,
a tree.
Oh, maybe there was a tree. Oh, I think there might have been a tree. Okay, let's try that experiment again. Here we go. New town. Transport ratings. Right, now I'm going to bomb the... Let's just check the area. Yep, I'm going to do this tile, which is just a plain tile. Yeah, it didn't change. So there you go. Exploding a tile doesn't change the rating. Presumably as well, if I build on there, doesn't change the rating. Doesn't change the rating. Doesn't change the rating. Only changes it if you remove tree, building, road, tunnel, do the land up and down.
What about rivers? then?
Rivers?
Town gets really upset if you destroy rivers.
Yeah?
I'm not sure it does. Let's have a look at the zone again. This river's in the zone. Was rivers listed? No, it doesn't care about rivers. You can...
Is it water? Because I've raised land out of water before.
that's the raising of the land. That's different.
Oh.
So if you just destroy the river, it doesn't care.
But if you
What if
raise it just an empty land.
Yes.
Cow?
What if you delete water? Just
Hang
like,
on, let me
seawater?
test farmland as well. Yeah, it doesn't care about farmland either. Nothing matters. Only trees, roads, buildings, bridges, and tunnels.
But if you raise the land.
Well, no. If I raise the land, they don't care as long as it's not deleting any trees, right?
Ooh.
So, if I come over here, we check it again. The zone is all over here. There's farmland. If I raise it up, it deletes the farmland, raises it up, doesn't do anything. But if I raise it up over here, I get a rating because trees were removed to do it. So it's all about the trees. If you remove the
learned
trees,
something.
yes. So if you have a map with no trees on it, you annoy the local authority a lot less. So the game hate fishes the end. Well, they're evil fish anyway, so don't worry about that.
I mean, if you delete all the trees on the map anyway, they can't get annoyed at you for deleting trees.
Well, they might regrow again. They tend to regrow using the normal game settings.
Because, what was I thinking? Because they can only hate you so much.
Yes, there's a minimum amount of hate. Yeah, there's a maximum amount of hate that you can have, yeah. Right, have we missed any questions? Let's have a look. Okay, somebody got the name of the developer wrong.
Chris Sawyer?
They called him Tom.
Oh.
Yes, it was. This is the reason why I think the game did really well. It was a very good game overall. Yeah.
Get trees regrow from nothing.
Ooh, I want to try that.
Like, if you have 0 trees...
I'll have to leave this game though to try that. Or I could open a second instance. Let's open a second instance. Properties, installed files, browse, double click the exe. The only downside is with the way my streaming setup is, you probably won't see it, which is a shame. So let me just see. So to make this work, even if I leave the regrowing algorithm on, if I go scenario editor, create a new scenario, flat land, random land, doesn't matter because it doesn't generate trees, throw a few towns on it, throw a few industries on it, but don't throw any trees on it, then I save the scenario as a test. Oh, hang on, let's call it something better than test. Tree test. I'm pretty sure it's going to grow trees. Okay. Actually, I think I've figured out a way to show you this when it's loaded, so bear with me a second, folks. Abandon the scenario editor. Do play scenario, load the test.
Trees will grow in the scenario editor, by the way.
Hang on. Let's have a look.
I learned this the hard way.
So here we go. There is a world with no trees. Trees are not... there's no trees in it at all. And if we fast forward, no trees grow. At all. But if I plant one little tiny tree, let's see, how fast was I fast forwarding then? If we go to show frame rate. Oh, the game's still paused? Oh, there we go. The game was running at 5,000. Oh, no. Wait, there we go. The game was paused. Okay, so I didn't put a tree down, and now there's trees everywhere. Okay, the game was running at 5,000 times speed. There's trees all over the place. So they can regrow from nothing. The world is now full of trees. After only... Well, it's 1992, 3, 4... The game's nearly finished. I'm halfway through the game now. So there we go. You guys saw that? Yeah, you saw that. Right, back to the other game.
It's kind of mesmerizing watching the farms replant themselves.
Yes, it is a little bit. There we go. Lovely. Tom was the guy that did care about the river. All right, okay. So yes, trees will regrow, but that is given the tree growth algorithm. So if you go into settings and type in tree, you can do the tree placer algorithm, which you can't do mid-game, but you can do in-game tree placement. So you can do grow but don't spread, and then you can actually have don't grow and don't spread, which means essentially if there's no trees you would never end up with trees. I think we used that setting on one of the games to try and just keep trees out of the multiplayer game. So there is a way of doing it, but by the default setting they'll come back. I've got way too many goods waiting at my station.
Means you need more trains.
Well, I've got a train sat here, and I don't know what it says. It's waiting for a free path. Oh, yeah, it's because I've got a single track line. Oh, I need to improve that. Let's put the other line in. This is what I was doing when I was playing as Duncan. Is I was just building
we
single
saw
tracks, building single tracks and expanding out into dual tracks because I just thought it felt a little bit more
How I do it.
a little bit more newer player than pro player, I guess.
Yeah, you fooled me.
Yeah, I think I don't think anybody cottoned on that I was playing as Duncan at all,
No.
which is
Just
that's
wasn't
fun.
expected. We
No.
thought you were in the server, like doing all the not in the server, but like doing
Yeah,
the
we-
backend for them.
Yeah, I was. So
We
like on
figured
my
out that you were doing the script.
yeah, it's still there on my laptop now. I don't know. I need to disconnect from it. But I'm going to close OpenTTD, and I haven't had a chance. I might actually just do that now. But I was running the server and adjusting the script from my laptop from a different machine.
But we weren't expecting you also playing the game.
Yes, yes, that was fun. I'm going to close this now. Let's see. Let's close this. Oh, shall I save it?
Ooh. Yeah,
You
save
could
it.
save.
Yeah, save it because it might be useful later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't save it locally
Why not?
because I'm not local.
Ah,
Well, you
oh
save
right,
it for
because
them.
you're like remoting in.
Yeah. So I should disconnect as a good remoter should disconnect. But what I could do is that I could drop a message and just say, "Hey, this file on the server." Yeah. Right then, what we got here? Ratings are 69% very good. That's Ninding Head transfer. So if we go over to Ninding Head, we can build a statue of the company owner and just boost those ratings by 10%. There we are. That's pretty good. I've got loads of mail at this airport building up. That tells me that I've got the kind of balance on my trains not great. You can see that all of my mail vans are completely full, but my passenger carriages are not full.
Is it
So
worth doing what you do with mail livestock and just have separate mail and passenger trains?
Yes. Yes, it is. The problem there is, right, the reason why I think most people don't do it is because when it comes to industries, there's one industry and you can place as many stations around it as you like, and the stations get the goods distributed to them. It does a complicated choosy thing where it picks the best two and stuff like that. But essentially, you put your station there, you're going to get the goods. Now, in towns, it doesn't work like that because individual buildings within the towns give amount of catchment and the amount of amount of cargo that it supplies. So if you want to put a passenger station down and then leave a gap and put a mail station down, the mail station's not going to actually connect up and have as good a catchment coverage. Now there is a way around that. Should we do that? We'll do it. Here we go. We're going to have two platforms in the same station for passengers, and we're going to have two platforms in the same station for mail. You ready? We're going to do it. So
Don't forget to switch cameras.
here we go. I'm just putting the second platform. We're going to bring this track back a bit. Favorite industry mod? I at the moment I think it's furs, but there are a few that I haven't tried yet, so we'll have to have a look at them at some point. All right. Now the junctions I'm doing here aren't great, right? Don't necessarily take this particular design as a good way of doing it, right? In fact, let's do it like that. Yeah, let's do it like that. But it's to demonstrate a point, right? So the track going in is there, the track going in there, that's out, in, out, in, out. I shake it all about. Yeah, well done, DJ. One of you got it. Brandon's probably pretty tired. So then what we do to make them direct to...
This is my prime time.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? So to have two platforms do one thing and two platforms do another thing, you split the tracks up. Then you just pop in some waypoints, okay? So that's the way that I would do it. Why can't I see the waypoint labels? Why can't I see waypoint labels? I thought waypoints had their own labels.
They're the signs, aren't they?
No, waypoints have the... Is there a... There is a separate transparency option for waypoint labels that isn't in the main transparency options. Oh, come on, developers, add that. Anyway, you can see it now. So for what you do is you go, all right, these are my passenger trains. They're going to go through the passenger waypoint. Now, for laziness, I'll just put the letter P. And then my mail trains over here, they're going to go for the mail waypoint. And again, for laziness, I'll do the letter M. And then you just do the orders. Now, because you were clever and did shared orders, you won't have to change it for all your trains. So I'll be able to say, hey, for these trains, we can go into this station, which is Londonford Airport. So before we go into the airport, we want to go through the waypoint. And that just forces the train to go, okay, I need to go to this waypoint, and therefore I have access to these two platforms only. And then if you had a mail train, you do the similar thing, except you send them into the mail waypoint, and then have access to those two platforms only. Now, like I said, this is not necessarily the best design, but it illustrates the point. The merge of these bits probably wants to be further back, because if you've got trains waiting to get into the platforms, they can end up blocking each other around here. But in terms of the waypoints and the way the platforms work, that's how you do it.
Julius Bunny asks, what's your favourite industry mod?
I think I need to look at the other mods better. The only one I've got a significant amount of experience in is Furs, and it is really good.
Yeah,
So-
you've only really played Furs as well, though.
The thing is, like, you get something, and it's really good. And it's got lots of different game modes, and you can do different things with it. And it takes you a year to do a series anyway. Like, are you going to then be going out and doing different mods and other things?
I think it'd be good for variety for you to try one of the other ones sometime. I don't know what others there is, even.
Yeah. So I've got it on my to-do list. Yeah, and let me see. Let me find out if I can find what mods I've got on my to-do list. Bear with me a second. Just
Just
need to.
Christmas one.
No, well, I'm not looking at that. Where are we going? Let's see here. Master Hellish lists. OpenTTD stuff to look into. So, there is the XIS Extreme Industries. Yeti. That's apparently really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeti. There's another one that begins with an E that I think's not in this list that I probably need to look at as well. So there are a few. Yeah. But before I do that, I want to go and have a look at Furs 5 that came out of beta recently, I believe. So,
Oh, can we actually start recommending that to people?
I mean, the thing is that I don't know whether it's a shift in the way that society looks at these things, or a failing in the way expectations are set. But like, when something is released, everybody expects the best thing immediately and for it to work. The general user base doesn't seem to understand the point of an alpha or a beta or a preview or a early access anymore. And it was in beta. And the idea of the beta is to test, to poke, to prod, to fix and enhance, ready to make a final version for release. The release version is the one you're supposed to play, right? So it's not just limited to Furs. It's pretty much everything. This is why we're not playing version 15 beta 3 right now. We're playing version 14.1. It's the version of the game you're supposed to play. Now, if you want to test the new features, maybe give feedback to the developers, see if it works. Maybe you want to see if the mod you're making can be easily updated to the new version. That is all good reasons to go and get version 15 beta 3. If you want to just play a game of OpenTTD, use the latest stable.
Like Minecraft snapshots.
It's exactly like Minecraft snapshots. This is why we don't update our Minecraft server to snapshots, because it can cause problems and issues, data degradation and all that sort of thing. Because it's not done yet. It's still in testing. It's not finished. and a lot of people seem to miss the whole point of previews, beta, snapshots, and all that sort of thing. Early access. But there we go. Yeah.
Some games never are finished, though, right?
I mean, it depends. Yeah, I mean, sometimes like they just bring out like extensions constantly.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah, like
Minecraft
Minecraft.
is never finished. You can't just say, "Oh, play version 1.8."
Yeah, but it's the same as OpenTTD. Like, right, version 15 is on its way. That'll be the new
Sure.
version.
But
Then
like,
in theory, 16.
with version 15 of OpenTTD, there's not much reason to go and play a previous version of OpenTTD.
Not unless you have a mod that you really want to play and it's not compatible with the new version. But I think that's quite unlikely.
Could argue the
OpenTTD
same
is
for Minecraft.
very good at backwards compatibility. Yeah, you could say the same in Minecraft, yeah. You play first two, you'd love to see the others, just never had time for the others. Maybe I need to make a video all about industry sets. What do you guys think of that?
Just comparing them and like
Yeah.
seeing what's in them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. Right, this is my notepad that I use. And I don't use it very much. I'm starting to use it more and more because I don't know. I kind of like the idea of writing something down. Like if I'm sat here with a notepad writing an idea down, I think it's more visually acceptable for you than if I turn my head and I'm looking over here and typing and not talking. Right? You can see me writing the idea down in a special little place. Right? Don't ask how long it's going to be for version 15. It'll come when it's ready.
I have
Probably
a physical
Christmas.
notepad for work.
What was I writing down?
To see about other industry sets.
Oh, industry set video. Do you guys want me to spoil what video is coming on Saturday? If I can get it finished in time.
Is a video coming on Saturday?
Yeah, so I've got a video coming out tomorrow. That video is done. The preview team have seen it, provided their feedback, and the feedback has been implemented. I just haven't uploaded the new version yet. That video is unlike any other video I've ever done about
it's that
OpenTTD.
video.
It is that video. It's completely unique for me. I've never done anything like that before, so we'll have to see how the viewers like it. If you like it and love it, make sure you share it, give it the likes and so forth so that we know. If you thought it was rubbish, hit the dislike. Thumbs down it. Let me know. I
Can we
want
even
you
see
to do
dislikes?
that. I can see dislikes, yeah.
Oh.
If I had the option to show dislikes on my channel, I would. They hid the feature completely. I think what they should have done is made it a toggle and have it off by default. So you can add it back in if you wanted to. That's just my opinion, but I think a lot of people would probably agree with that based on what I've heard. But that aside, yeah, I want you to dislike it if you don't like that video that's coming out tomorrow. Then the video on Saturday is a video about passengers and mail versus cargo.
Ooh.
There is so much speculation about what's good about one, what's good about the other, which one you should use in which scenarios, what vehicles might work that best with. You know, for example, like coal is higher on the cargo payment rates, right? If you go to the cargo payment rates and look at that, right? Coal is one of the highest primary things. Wait, is the highest primary thing on there, right? You have to ignore goods because you can't start with goods. You have to make goods from something else.
I still think you should count goods.
No. Because
there's
like,
still a-
like, if the question is, what shall you start with? You
Yeah.
can't start with goods.
No, you can't start with goods, but if you're comparing passengers mail to cargo payment rates, goods is still up there.
Yeah,
The reason why
but the thing
passengers
is
good
that,
because
like,
there's so many of them.
yeah, but once you got your network going, like, you can do both and it doesn't matter much, right? You've got the money rolling in, you just build loads of network, right? You can do bi-directional goods and this sort of thing, and you can get loads of money like that. The question is more around starting. When you're starting a game of OpenTTD, what works best? The higher paying coal or the slightly more available passengers and mail, which can be bi-directional? How does that play out? And that is what all Saturday's video is all about. And I found quite a nice little way of investigating that, actually. So hopefully you guys like that. I'm not 100% sure it'll be out on Saturday. It should be. I think I'm going to get the video done in time. It's basically been researched, tested, but I haven't done any scripting, and I haven't done any recording. I haven't done any editing. It's not been produced or any of that. So there we go. Yeah. For some time, you thought about doing a challenge, making a big line with lots of different cargoes, but the thing will be that you're only allowed to use one train. I mean, we did the one depot challenge at one point, and it was kind of
awful.
fun to do once-ish, but then I wouldn't do it again. The main thing is that there's a depot can only have a certain amount of throughput. There's only so many trains that can go into a depot and come out at once. It's got a maximum speed. When a train's going in at a depot, I think it's 61 kilometers an hour. That's it. You can't get any more through that.
Someone else mentioned
One train challenge.
one train challenge just sounds dull.
You just make it go back. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have a lot of motion. You wouldn't have a lot of income.
Unless you do like a universal wagon and do lots of refitting.
Yeah, but even then, like,
You can do this in Factorio, actually.
it would make sense to only really go and deliver the most valuable resource, right? So, yeah. Sounds like a great video. I always start with passenger mail. The bi-directional part is a big plus. Yeah, but you're leaving a lot of potential profit on the table if that's the operating profit graph. If you're doing passenger mail compared to coal. There you go. Look, passengers is almost half the payment of coal. So it's going to be interesting how that pans out. Because I haven't fully recorded it yet, I don't actually know the full answer. I've only tested the way in which I intend to run the simulations, not the actual results of the simulations. So there we go. Right then, folks. I have been... I started work at 9 o'clock this morning. And I took a break from 5 o'clock this evening to cook the kids dinner and all that sort of thing. And then I got back on it with the Jingle Jam live stream at around 7:30. So it's been a long day for me. I think we'll call it there. If you've got any more questions, the best place to ask them is probably over on the Discord. So you can go to discord.masterhellish.net and take part in the community and everything that's happening over there. And keep an eye out for the video that's coming out tomorrow. The very different video that I've never done a video like it before. And also keep an eye out for Saturday's potential video. It's going to be interesting. Also, we're back with season 12 of OpenTTD on Thursday, and Trips Down Memory Lane comes back on Friday night with a Settlers 3 stream. So there we go, everybody. I hope you're enjoying all the streams and all the content. If you are, please do support me. masterhellish.net. There is a page to tell you various different ways you can support me, and most of those ways are free. So please do check that out. But from me and the moderators that are hanging around and everybody in chat, it's good night for now. Thank you, everybody. Ta-ra. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.